Κατσκάου σίγουρα είναι ένας νέος φιλόδοξος προπονητής. Μην ξεχνάμε ότι φέτος ήταν βοηθός προπονητής στο Danny Ainge. Πέρασε σκητάλη. Η ηγεσία των Suns είναι ευχαριστημένη μαζί του. Έκανε μια πολύ καλή χρονιά. Τελείωσε πάρα πολύ καλά. Ξεπέρασε πάρα πολλούς τραυματισμούς στο να φτάσει στα playoffs. Και σίγουρα ο Κατσκάου δεν θέλει να φύγει με 0-4 στην πλάτη του. Οι παίκτες του πιστεύω ότι θα είναι έτοιμοι. Συμφωνώ μαζί σου ότι δεν ξέρω αν έχουν τα κυβικά ούτε τα γκάζια να μπορούν να γυρίσουν αυτή τη σειρά αγώνων υπέρ τους. Μα σίγουρα ότι πιστεύω ότι απόψε θα εμφανιστούν πάρα πολύ πιο καλύτεροι από τις προηγούμενες βραδιές.
Ωραία λάθη με το οποίο...
Big miss, he had a great look at it. He had a great look at it. Did they do the anthem already while we were inside?
Yes.
I don't want to go to the meeting. You can have my proxy at the meeting. Tell everyone I said hi. With an eye on what's happening at the Delta Center in Salt Lake, Bob Costas and Doug Collins at America West in Arizona. Suns win the opening tip. They haven't won anything else so far in this series. Down 0-3. Sean Marion, the rookie, can't give them the early lead. And Shaq takes the rebound, averaging 17 rebounds a game in this series and 17 plus for the playoffs, leading all NBA players in playoff scoring and rebounding. Lakers looking for the sweep. Kobe Bryant out to Glenn Rice, who hasn't shot well in this series. Shaq just marauds through, misses, grabs his own rebound, wrests it free, and is fouled. Jason Kidd out to Hardaway, who's been splendid. Kidd left alone. He shot 1 for 9 Friday. He opens by missing his first one here.
He's now 2 of 11 from that three-point line in this series, and the Lakers defense is going to be geared to have him make some three-point shots, helping on Hardaway.
Kobe Bryant with a great catch, but unable to finish it. Here's Cliff Robinson. His three is off, and Bryant gets back for the rebound.
And you can see Cliff is really sort of gingerly moving on that ankle that he sprained the other night.
Pass deflected out of bounds and touched last by Phoenix. Harper to trigger in. Rice catch and shoot. He has hit only 30% of his shots, averaging 10 points a game through the first 3 games of this series.
Well, the frightening thing is the Lakers are up 3-0, and he is shooting the ball that poorly, Bob. You talk about 9 out of 30 for the series going into today's game, and that's a frightening thing for the opponent.
Here's Luke Longwood. He made 6 of 9 on Friday and had his best game of the series with 12 points and picks up where he left off.
Well, I think that Phil Jackson really wants Shaq to discourage him early, make him miss 1 or 2 early, maybe get him thinking about his shot. Don't let him pick up where he picked off the other day.
Here come the Suns with Marion. Fancy dribbling against Harper, he misses. Kidd trying to follow is fouled over the back.
Jason Kidd is such an unselfish play to him, draw the defense, and then give the ball to Marion to finish.
Kidd's lob inside to Hardaway, who scores.
I'll tell you, Penny Hardaway has restored his image in so many ways. Bobby went through some tough times in Orlando, playing as good as he's played in a long, long while.
Shaq out high. Rice takes it and hits again. 2 for 2 for him.
Well, he's such a rhythm shooter. He came off the sideline screen the first time, under baseline out of bounds, hits a shot that time, just a little handoff, no dribble, catch and shoot.
Longley from Kidd, and now Hardaway. Returns to Jason Kidd. Another wide open look. and he puts it down for three.
Again, you can see the defensive philosophy of the Lakers. I talked to Phil Jackson here before the game. He said, we got to make Kidd make some shots. Hardaway is hurting us. We got to get the ball out of his hands.
Suns by 2. And the game is tied on Harper's basket.
I'd say the Lakers are sort of an amazing group. You see Ron Harper is 5 of 16 in the series, so both he and Rice off to great starts.
And Harper with the steal. He'll take it all the way, but Hardaway reaches in and pokes it free into the hands of AC Green. Nice defensive play by Penny. Here's Kobe spinning against 2 defenders. Not just any 2, Hardaway and Kidd. The jumper just short. Kidd racing back, lays it off from Marion. Robinson's behind the line.
Such a key for this offense. The Lakers are not going to give many post plays, any opportunities in the lane. Phoenix loves to penetrate, find the open players. Bob, the three-point shooting is really what prevented them from having at least one in this series, one win in this series.
A very good three-point shooting team through the season, and cold from beyond the arc through the first 3 games. AC Green misses the tip off Shaq's initial miss, and Jason Kidd runs it down. Sean Marion can't connect, but he'll get a second try.
So quick off his feet. He misses the first opportunity. That's twice he's done that today already, Bob. But he's so quick to go back and get that second shot. I think that's where he's at his best.
Kobe over Penny. 2 of the game's best, and the basket for the 21-year-old Laker.
Now, Kobe is not guarding Penny Hardaway to start the game. He's guarding Jason Kidd and really trying to give a lot of help defense. But late in the game, if they need him, they will move Kobe over on to Penny Hardaway.
Here's Penny. Can't answer at the other end. Rebound to Shaq. Lakers trail by 3. Rice. Now Shaq. From the edge of his range, he misses the bank. It bounces right back to him. He scores and he's fouled.
Oh, that's got to really upset Scott Skiles. They forced Shaq into a jump shot from about 10, and no one went to it to pick it up.
Συμπεριλαμβανομένων και το play-off δηλαδή στο Staples Center, και νομίζω ότι η έδρα αποτελεί πολύ μεγάλο αβαντάζ για μια ομάδα που ούτως ή άλλως έχει το πλεονέκτημα μέχρι και τους τελικούς αν φτάσει, έτσι Steve?
Ναι, σίγουρα ότι το κατόρθωμα, το να έχει το καλύτερο record, το καλύτερο μέσα στην κανονική περίοδο, θα το προσπαθήσει να το εκμεταλλευτεί οι Lakers. Παρόλο που η Phoenix ήρθε πάρα πολύ κοντά στο γεγονός να σπάσει την έδρα.
Στο δεύτερο παιχνίδι.
Ναι, έχασε με τη μικρότερη διάφορα που μπορούσε να χάσει τον πόντο. Και αυτό σημαντικό πράγμα είναι αν θα μπορέσει να διατηρήσει το πλεονέκτημα της έδρας.
Φοβερό κάρφωμα από τον Penny Hardaway, ο οποίος μπήκε μέσα στην καρδιά της ρακέτας και κάρφωσε την μπάλα με το αριστερό χέρι. 11-16, πάλι διαφορά 5 πόντων για τους Suns. Kobe Bryant, ακριβώς από αυτό το σημείο, σε άλλο γήπεδο όμως, έβαλε το τελευταίο καλάθι του δεύτερου αγώνα, που έδωσε την νίκη στους Lakers και με περίπου τον ίδιο τρόπο.
Ο Kobe Bryant σίγουρα είναι big time player, είναι παίκτης ο οποίος θέλει να κάνει το τελευταίο shoot. Του ήρθε η φάση εκεί και έβαλε το shoot, και αυτό είναι το στίγμα σίγουρα ενός ηγέτη. Το να μιλήσει στην
κατάσταση. 100% έτοιμος και υγιής στη νέα περίοδο. Είπα ότι ήταν μια πολύ δύσκολη χρονιά και την έκανε ακόμη πιο δύσκολη ο τραυματισμός μου. Την Ολυμπιακή ομάδα που θα πάει στο Σίδνεϊ το Σεπτέμβριο για να πάρει το χρυσό Ολυμπιακό μετάλλιο, αλλά αντικαταστάθηκε από τον Vince Carter, καθώς ο τραυματισμός του δεν του έδωσε την ευκαιρία.
Δημήτρη, το θέμα είναι ότι οι play-offs στην Αμερική δεν είναι όλοι για τραυματισμοί. Δεν είναι ένα παιχνίδι χωρίς αύριο, και σίγουρα ότι μόνο ένας πολύ σοβαρός τραυματισμός μπορεί να στερήσει την παρουσία κάποιου παίκτη που άλλο στο παρκέ τώρα αυτή τη στιγμή.
Μάλιστα. 5 για το σουτ στην επίθεση των Lakers. Ο Ράις στο Σακίλ που τελειώνει μπροστά από τον Κόρι Μπλάουντ. Νέο πρόσωπο στην πεντάδα, τον άλλαξε σέντερ ο Σκοτ Σκάιλς. Κυρίως γιατί είχε κάνει γρήγορα φάουλ, 2 φάουλ ο Λιουκ Λόγκλι, και βάλε μέσα έναν παλιό παίκτη των Lakers, τον Κόρι Μπλάουντ. Μακρινό σούτ από τον Κλιφ Ρόμπινσον που δείχνει να είναι σε καλή βραδιά. Ο Κίντ έχει ξεκινήσει πολύ δραστηριος, 5 πόντι, 3 rebound, 3 assist. Και εδώ προσπαθεί να τρέξει και τον ευνηδιασμό. Πάσα στον Hardaway, προσποιήσεις και το τελείωμα από τον Hardaway. Hardaway που έχει ήδη 7 πόντους. 15-21. Η διαφορά στους 6. Μεγαλύτερη διαφορά για τους Suns. Ο Rice μπλοκάρεται. Ο Kidd προσπαθεί να σώσει την μπάλα. Αυτή φτάνει σαν από θαύμα στα χέρια του Kobe.
You can see even after made field goal, pushing the ball up the floor, trying to get something early. You see Corey Blunt with the reverse dunk, the opportunity for the three-point play. But the Suns' game plan is very simple. Get the ball up, attack early, don't let the Lakers get their half-court defense set up.
The foul was on AC Green. The Suns, who have done in game 2 and a close loss here on Friday night, a game in which they led much of the way, it certainly hasn't shown so far. They come out with a lot of energy in this first quarter.
Well, this is a team that's very proud and very resilient with all they've been through this year, Bob, and I like really what they're doing here. They're defensive rebounding, they're pushing the ball up the floor. Jason Kidd already has 5 assists, and we know the Lakers are a tremendous defensive team if you let them get back in the half court. Get them early, get some opportunities to start this game. Their confidence will continue to build, so I really like how the Suns have gotten started today.
Here's Brian Shaw off the Laker bench, guarded by Jason Kidd. Cliff Robinson has the D on Glenn Rice. The pass into the post, deflected away, but a foul on the Suns.
And Brian Shaw coming to the game. The Lakers have taken advantage of that opportunity, so let's see what happens today.
Shaw with 4 on the 24. Out to Robert Horry. Horry overshot it, an air ball. Here comes Jason Kidd pushing it up the floor. Trailing the play is Penny for 3, but it's off.
That's the way the Suns like to play, though. They've gotten good opportunities on the break. They have 7 points off the fast break already. That's critical for them.
Kobe Bryant with the Lakers trailing by 7. They swing it around to Glenn Rice. Rice, a little lunger off the glass, no good. The rebound is taken by Blunt. Kidd on the drive through traffic. And Rodney Rogers hits a 3. The first 3 he's hit in the series. He had missed his first 12. This after shooting 44% from long range for the season.
Well, we talked to him yesterday, and what did he say? He said, Bob, I just need to hit 1. I've had good shots. Well, let's see what happens.
Horry with a little up and under that's no good. Shaq controls the rebound and slams it down.
See, when the Lakers offensive rebound like this, now what happens is you have to play a half-court game. This is where the Lakers are at their best offensively, and this is where the Suns struggle, especially late in the ball game.
Cliff Robinson. Ball knocked away, but he was fouled. Robinson scored 30 points in the Game 2 loss, then had 23 in Game 3 on Friday, despite spraining his right ankle and scoring only 2 points in the 4th quarter. He
went back and got a little bit more treatment on it and then retaped it. I asked him just before the game started how it felt. He said it does not matter because they're in a situation where he just must play. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks.
And to follow up on that, Ahmad report, Ahmad knows, being a former player, what you hope as this game goes on is that your ankle warms up, doesn't tighten up. And it looks right now that Cliff Robinson is warmed up and is moving pretty well.
Here's Hardaway, missing the floater. Ball batted to Kidd. Robinson, got it.
Nice move on that baseline, but the reason that's set up is because he hit a 3 to start the game, so you got to cover out. Now you can put that ball on the floor, take up slack, and get the little medium-range jumper.
And how about Corey Blunt, who got the initial offensive rebound? He has given them a lot of energy off the bench. Kobe can't hit. He comes up with it, though, off Blunt's hands. And Shaw for 3.
I tell you, Brian Shaw and Robert Horry have been huge factors. Bob, going into today's game, they're 16 of 31 combined, 6 of 14 from 3. So these two guys have been real weapons coming in off the bench for Phil Jackson.
It's the Suns by 8. Hardaway into the lane. Rejected by Shaq, who then retains it. Here's Shaw on the run, the lob to Bryant. A little bit of everything there. Shaq with the block and the rebound. The outlet to Shaw. The brilliant assist to the leaping Kobe for the bucket. Here's Kidd. Jason Kidd's shooting eye has been off until this game. He's finding the range here.
Well, you can see he's got more bounce in his step. It looks like he's trusting that foot more. Very sore in game 1. Has gotten better as the series has gone on.
Shaq down deep and a whistle, a 3-second violation.
And the crowd loves that here. They love to see that. They feel like Shaq gets an opportunity to camp in that lane way too much. So the Phoenix Suns crowd loves that call.
The officials are Mike Mathis, Joe Crawford, Joe Forte. Corey Blunt lost it. Here's Kobe. Pulls up. Ball knocked away. Penny's got it. Peg ahead to Kidd. Robson.
Ο Ρόμπινσον πάλι για 3 και πάλι εύστοχος. Έχει 11 πόντους και γίνεται ο πρώτος σκόρερ του αγώνα με ένα τρίποντο σόου από τον Clifford Robinson. Ήταν το τρίτο εύστοχο του τρίποντο απόψε. 13 δευτερόλεπτα για το τέλος. Πάλι διαφορά στους 11. 24-35. Τελευταία επίθεση των Lakers. Double team και στον Bryant. Ο Fox χάνει την μπάλα. Kidd 2-1 για το τέλος. Ο Kidd θα προλάβει, πετάει την μπάλα και σκοράρει. Απίστευτο φινάλε στο τέλος της πρώτης περίοδου. Και δείτε τους πανηγυρισμούς των αναπληρωματικών παικτών των Suns.
Ένα φοβερό καλάθι να τελειώσει η πρώτη περίοδο, το οποίο σίγουρα είναι το καλύτερο που έχει να δείξει η Phoenix μέχρι στιγμής στο τέταρτο παιχνίδι. Είναι το καλύτερο 12 και οι 37 πόντοι σίγουρα ότι είναι ένας πολύ μεγάλος αριθμός πόντων, ειδικά απέναντι από την καλή άμυνα των Lakers.
Ας το ξαναδούμε, αξίζει. Εδώ ο Kidd κλέβει την μπάλα μέσα από τα χέρια του Fox και αρχίζει να διασχίζει το γήπεδο μόνος του. Μπορούσε να πασάρει στο Hardaway, προτιμάει να πετάξει την μπάλα.
Kidd 2 of 10 in the series. He hits one there. In the open court transition, they can't find Cliff Robinson. He gets one. Jason Kidd with great penetration finds Rodney Rogers, who was 0 for 12 before today. And then Cliff Robinson once again. And Jason Kidd, they won at the end of the quarter. 5 of 8 3-point shooting today for the Suns. The tremendous difference. And you see, Bob, the regular season they shot so well. In the first round, not so good against the Spurs. 12 of 53 going in today. Rodney Rogers and Jason Kidd were combined.
All right, thanks, Bob. Before the game, I spent a lot of time in the Phoenix Suns locker room, and even though they're down 3-0, there's no desperation in that locker room. I talked to Jason Kidd. He said, first of all, his ankle is feeling great, and he said that these guys feel like they really should have won 2 of the last games. He said, I guarantee you we'll play well today, and we'll take this game back to L.A. Bob?
Ahmad thanks. Here's Shaw with a long one off the back iron. Fox recovers and a nice pass to Shaq.
Now see, I look over at Scott Skiles and he just sort of shakes his head. No block out that time by Cliff Robinson. You get the rebound by Fox right underneath the Shaq. You cannot give Shaq those kind of baskets. You must make him work harder than that.
Cliff Robinson on the move. And how about the follow?
His ankle looks pretty good right now. The question is going to be, if he has to go out of the game, how long can he sit? It might be one of those games he has to play the whole 48.
He scored 11 so far. Kobe Bryant at the moment on the Laker bench. Robert Horry, who had a big 15 in Game 3 on Friday and played his longest stint of the season, 39 minutes. He sends it into Shaq. Back out to Rick Fox. 5 on the 24. Shaq in the lane. Doesn't get the roll. Ball batted out to Derek Fisher. His pass to the side finds Fox. Now it's Fisher left free for a moment. And Kidd will take it.
Look at him push the ball up the floor.
Todd Day, way short. The rebound to Horry. Robinson is back against Shaw, but Shaw challenges him with a left-hand hook. And then a whistle. Wow.
I'm not so sure. That's what Phil Jackson wants, a 1-on-2 fast break with a flying left-handed hook shot. Robinson. Shot goes up. He does not quit on the play. You know, he talked to Ahmad before the game. He said, yeah, my ankle's sore, but this is a deciding game. I'm going to play, and I'm going to play well. Made no excuses at all before the game started. You have to respect that.
Kevin Johnson in for the first time for the Suns. He played only 3 minutes on Friday night. His minutes have declined as the series has progressed. KJ replacing Kidd for a moment. Here's Robinson again for 3. The rebound to Rodney Rogers. Gives it back to Cliff, who lays it in. And now he's hobbling.
Might have come down the wrong way. Sometimes you just take the shock of bouncing down after you've jumped that high. We'll have to keep our eye on him. Looks like Sean Marion's ready to check in the game right now. We'll see if it's for Cliff Robinson.
Shaw baseline. And a whistle from Mike Mathis as the basket goes through.
Loose ball foul.
A loose ball foul called.
On number 34.
And it's on Shaquille O'Neal. The basket counts. The foul on Shaq is his second. 9:42 to play in the second period. And it's the Suns by 14.
2-28. One of the big stories in this game is Clifford Robinson and Cliff Robinson here steps on Shaq's foot, twists the ankle. He was carried out of the game. Very bad sprain. Didn't practice the last couple days. Here he is back trying to play today. This time he makes the shot, comes down, and lands hard on that right ankle again. He has had this thing taped two times today. He's trying to keep it loose right now. He's sitting on the bench. It'll be interesting to see how long he sits on that bench with that ankle, because if he sits too long, it just gets more and more stiff. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Here comes Todd Day working his way out of the backcourt against the defensive Brian Shaw.
I think you can see one little change that Phoenix has made. Kevin Johnson not bringing the ball up the floor against Fisher's ball pressure, having Todd Day do it, so having KJ actually play almost as a two-guard.
Rodney Rogers trying to lean in, and the whistle will go Phoenix. Foul on Ori was his first. Rodney Rogers, the NBA's 6th man of the year, knocks the first one down. .com, the official website of NBC Sports.
See, the Lakers now have gone to basically 4 guys off the bench with Shaquille O'Neal, so they'll go through him. Can Ori and Shaw continue to make this shots for this group?
Shaq into the paint with the jumper.
That's okay. You can live with that. You can live with him making jump shots. What you don't want to give him are layups and dunks. We get a chance to see Kobe Bryant, who's got off to a great start, getting a little rest right now.
Shaq has 11 in this game. He scored 37, 38, and 37 again in the series. Kevin Johnson can't hit the reverse. Fisher pushing it back the other way, and all the way. Longley got a piece of the ball, but a larger piece of Fisher for the foul.
And continue to push to try to get early opportunities against that clock.
With the tempo the Suns want and the way they've been shooting, they may outscore the Heat and the Knicks in a half. Talk about a contrast. Here's Johnson knocking it down from 18 feet.
How about Charlie Ward today at the end of that game? He was tremendous. I think he scored the last 9 points to make that series 2-2.
And how about Bill Walton's 180 on Ward? Of course, Charlie's play is what earned it, but last year, Walton was dogging him big time. Now he runs his PR firm. Fisher for 3, unattended. Sean Marion, the rookie, takes the rebound.
I really like this Sean Marion. He's quick, he's aggressive.
Todd Day tips in his own miss.
Lakers are a half step behind right now. You can see this is a desperate game, although for the Suns, they're not playing with that kind of desperation. They're playing very well. The Lakers are playing like a team right now that's up 3-0 in a series.
And a Phoenix foul as they attempt the entry pass to Shaq.
The bench is so vital for this Phoenix Suns team. KJ missed a layup the previous possession, comes back and buries the jump shot, and then Todd Day, who we said is handling a lot with the basketball, goes baseline. Shaq slow getting there, a little up and under move, and Todd
has 3 fouls already. Corey Blunt back in. O'Neal, and he was fouled once more. Back. And Ori is wide open. Phoenix escapes. Kevin Johnson to the front court for the pull-up. Robert Ori flips it into Fox. Here's Los Angeles trailing by 16, their biggest deficit of the series. Now they turn it over. Sean Marion blocked away by Robert Ori.
Now Robert Ori is playing terrific basketball. We remember when he won 2 championships with the Houston Rockets. Great 3-point shooting, a terrific shot blocker. You see him coming off the ball. And remember now, at one point in time, Bob, he played here for the Phoenix Suns. Had an unfortunate situation. He got upset with Danny Ainge, threw a towel in his face in a game in Boston. And later on that season, he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he has played very, very well there.
Exactly 7 minutes to play in the first half. And Phoenix trying to stave off the sweep. Off to a great start. Jason Kidd a while ago on the bench trying to keep that ankle stretched. He fractured it a little more than 2.5 months ago, the left ankle, and he's come back more quickly than anybody would have thought.
Well, you know what? I think in game one he had more of a tendonitis. When I talked to him yesterday, it was more of a tendonitis. He got it re-x-rayed, saw that it was okay. There was nothing wrong with the fracture. The screws were fine. And I think it gave him peace of mind that he could get through this, playing much better.
Penny Hardaway, some fakes in the lane. He puts it down, plus the whistle. A chance for a three-point play. Here is Hardaway, who has scored 25, 27, and 31 points in the first 3 games.
And you see right there, Kobe Bryant, first-team All-League defense playing, and he gets Penny in the, he gets Kobe in the air and then Shaq in the air, and now he finishes the opportunity for a 3 and misses the free throw. But 2 All-League defenders right there. Penny gets in between them and gets a score.
But here's the most important thing on that play. The foul just a moment ago going for the rebound, Rodney Rogers, his first. But the foul which sent Hardaway to the line was number 3 on Shaq.
And I think you'll see Phil Jackson let him play. They have a 3-0 series. They said, you know, I'm going to teach this guy that he's got to learn how to play with fouls. Why not let him play today?
Glenn Rice. It's a 2-pointer just inside the line. He has had a poor shooting series, shooting just 30% and averaging 10 points a game through the first 3 games. He is 3 of 7 now in this game.
And Bob, just to follow up on that, with them having a 3-0 series, it's not they want to lose the game, but if they do, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So I think they'll let Shaq play through this situation.
Rodney Rogers around Shaq, lays it in. 6 points for the league's best 6th man this year. Hold on, play stopped at the other end by Mike Mathis. It's Cole.
Number 30, Clifford Robinson, returns to the Suns line.
Make it 1 of 6. Big finale, you say.
I'm a big ER guy. I love that show, Bob. I don't miss it if I get a chance to be home on Thursday nights.
Oh, does the promo department love you?
That's true, though.
Off the scramble, ball out of bounds. Who's got it? The Lakers will keep it.
The games get closer, and all of a sudden, if he can't catch that ball in the last couple minutes of the game, we saw that in game 2. He didn't touch the ball the last 2:20 of the game because he had missed 2 free throws when they hacked to Shaq, and they went to Kobe and Rice late. You see Kobe at that jump shot. That's a concern. One of the things that we've talked about all season long is late in games, close games, can they go through Shaq?
O'Neal is 1 for 7 on his free throws today. Hardaway, Rice on him, and he takes him into the lane and doesn't get the roll. Shaq the rebound and the outlet for Harper, who juggles it. So now they'll set up in the front court. Rice over Marion.
Oh, Shaq just threw Cliff Robinson out of there. Very fortunate, didn't get his 4th foul.
Rice misses, and now a whistle.
Boy, Cliff Robinson is very upset. Shaquille O'Neal just took his arm and threw him out from underneath the basket. Bob, take a look at this. Now watch Shaq here and Cliff Robinson. They're going to go right there, and he just takes his left arm and throws him down. That would have been his 4th foul. Instead, Cliff Robinson gets a foul, and he's very, very upset.
This foul is Robinson's first, and he's got a legitimate gripe. Here's a man 6'10", listed at 255. He was tossed aside like a child.
Well, that's the fouls you got to call right there, and they say hold your ground, don't flop. And
nice. Now Shaq, 1 for 8.
With free throw shooting, technically, that he's doing right now, or is it a situation where all of a sudden you start thinking so much that all these negative thoughts go through your head? It's like when I play golf standing over the shot. I have so many negative things going through my head, there's no way I can possibly hit a good shot.
What a tale of woe. Here's Robinson for 3. Well, there's his answer. He got hit with the foul, which perhaps he didn't deserve, plus the technical, which he almost wanted to get. And he comes back to the other end of the floor and drills a 3. The Suns are 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. and they lead here by 18. Robinson with Shaq not in the middle, immediately storms into the lane, scores, and is fouled.
The awareness, yes, if Shaq is out of there, they have no shot blocking in the game. Attack the basket, get to the free throw line, and that's what Cliff has done. Now here's a guy who has struggled through the playoffs through his entire career. In Portland, he had some great seasons, struggled in the playoffs. We saw it in Phoenix, got off to a tough start in the first series against San Antonio, but since game one has been terrific for this team on both ends of the floor.
30 in game 2, 23 in game 3, and 19 here with still 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. Glenn Rice, surrounded by defenders, finds Kobe Bryant.
What a finish.
I'm sure Shaq appreciated it, even if his expression doesn't indicate it.
Now what the Suns can't do is they can't relax here because Shaq is sitting down and allow the Lakers to make a push here and cut into this 17-point lead. Keep building the lead. Don't relax right now with Shaq out.
Robinson's jumper spun out. Hardaway leaning on Bryant, and they hit Penny with the foul.
Μέσα στο Σακραμέντο εναντίον των Kings, παρότι και εκεί είχαν ξεκινήσει τη σειρά με εντυπωσιακές νίκες μέσα στο LA, όπως και εδώ έχουν ξεκινήσει με 2 εντυπωσιακές νίκες στο LA και με μια δύσκολη στον τρίτο αγώνα στην America West Arena. Ο Cliff Robinson τιμωρείται με παράβαση 3 δευτερολέπτων.
Έχει βοηθήσει και σε αυτό, Δημήτρη, πρέπει να τονίσω το γεγονός ότι δεν έχει βοηθήσει καθόλου το γεγονός ότι το Shaquille O'Neal μέχρι στιγμής είναι μία στις 9 ελεύθερες βολές. Όπου αν είχε στοιχειώδη ευστοχία στις ελεύθερες βολές, νομίζω ότι η διαφορά θα ήταν αρκετά μικρότερη.
Κοντά στους 10 πόντους ίσως. Τα λάθη πάντως είναι σχεδόν μοιρασμένα, 4-3 τα λάθη. Καμία από τις δύο ομάδες δεν έχει κάνει πολλά. Ο Μάριον παίζει καλή άμυνα και δυσκολεύει τη ζωή του Ράις. Του παίρνει όμως ένα δύσκολο σουτ, το Harper στο επιθετικό rebound, αλλά από τα δικά του χέρια η μπάλα βγαίνει έξω από τα όρια του αγωνιστικού χώρου. Νέα επίθεση για τους Suns. Ο Phil Jackson δεν ανησυχεί.
Βλέπουμε ότι και η απουσία του Shaquille O'Neal στην επίθεση του LA έχει βοηθήσει τους Suns στο να επεκτείνουν την άμυνά τους, να πιέσουν περισσότερο στην περιφέρεια. Δεν υπάρχει απειλή μέσα στο καλάθι και αυτό σίγουρα τη βοηθάει την άμυνα του Phoenix.
Ένα καλάθι του Σον Μάριον ανέβασε τη διαφορά πάλι στους 18, 41-59. Ο Μάριον που έχει 4 πόντους, αλλά έχει κάνει αρκετά καλή δουλειά στην άμυνα πάνω στο Ράις. Εδώ ο Ράις δεν μπόρεσε να πιάσει την backdoor pass.
Kobe clowning, Ori napping. The Lakers have napped through the first half, and a few minutes ago, here's what Phil Jackson had to say to his team.
You're acting like this game is like in the balances. It's the fourth quarter. It's not the fourth quarter. This is the second quarter. There's still 36 minutes, 30-some minutes left to play in this game, 31. Just get the game in hand, and then let's shut them down.
By Kobe and Shaq late, they want to learn. They've got to win these games on the road.
Here's Ori, a running one-hander, and he was fouled.
They were down 12 points in that game in the second quarter. In a minute 5, he scored 8 points, 2 threes and a 2. Fox hit 2 threes, gave him 6 points. That little spurt, actually, I thought turned the game in their favor because really the Suns were dominating during that time, Bob.
It's Phoenix by 16. Shaquille O'Neal still on the bench. Bryant guarding Kidd. Off Robinson's hands, he saves it in the direction of Rogers, who loses it to Rice, who's home free.
When you got a guy who's struggling making jump shots, you don't want to give him those kind. Remember you talked about he was 3 for 10 in the game. That gives him a dunk on the breakaway. Let's see if he utilizes that and gets himself going here.
Jason Kidd overshot it badly. Air ball into Rice's hands.
If the Lakers score here, if I'm Scott Skiles, I might take a 20-second time. I don't like what I see.
Rice misses the pull-up jumper. Rodney Rogers backing in on Sally, who fouled him. Sally out high, hands to Harper. His jumper is off. Kidd comes out of there with the ball. Robinson's ahead of the field. 21 now for Cliff Robinson. And Phoenix reestablishes an 18-point lead. Now an offensive foul on Ron Harper. Todd Day was hounding him. Harper tried to create some space, and they caught him.
Number 7, Kevin Johnson returns to the Suns lineup for number 54, Rodney Rogers.
When you see the jump shot, watch all 5 guys go to the board. Robinson releases. Nobody gets back to protect in the backcourt. And Cliff Robinson runs out and gets the easiest 2 points he's gotten all game. Now, Kevin Johnson is in the game. The reason Rodney Rogers has a couple fouls, he does not want him to pick up his 3rd going into the halftime break with this kind of lead.
Here's Jason Kidd exploding baseline.
See, no shot blocking. Lakers looking around, talking to one another. And you know, I think this little diversity right now, Phil talked about it against Sacramento. He's seeing it again today. This is all the growth of a team that people has given a championship to, but yet have not won anything yet.
Harper down the lane. And a foul is called. 12 points now for Jason Kidd at his basket. Last 40 seconds of the half. Todd Day. Jason Kidd got free, but didn't get the roll. Ball out of bounds, and it will still belong to Phoenix. Jason Kidd, double team, goes to the left hand and scores.
Now in the regular season, he took Cliff Robinson to the steeple here. The turnover by Horry, another careless play. The Lakers' minds are not in this game right now.
23 for Cliff Robinson, and Phoenix leads by 23. Glenn Rice inside to Harper. Day made him change the shot, but also fouled him.
And then the careless play, Kobe going away from the defense, Horry just lobbing the ball inbounds. Robinson with the powerful finish.
Western Conference Final. It's still more than likely. But it's also possible that Portland, which lost today at Utah, and the Lakers, who are getting pasted through the first half here in Phoenix, were looking ahead to that matchup.
Well, it also tells you how difficult it is to eliminate a team. And you see Indiana, they were not able to knock out Philly. They were not able to knock out Utah today. Today, the Lakers look like they're looking at a game 5.
Up with Phoenix in front by 21.
Remember the spectacular shot that Jason Kidd at the end of the first quarter, the 3 on the run. What a lift it would give the team if they could come out of a 20-second timeout here and get a score.
Scott Skiles, a very good young coach, both in terms of how he motivates and prepares his team and in-game strategy, wisely using the 20 in this situation to set up the last possession.
Well, you can't carry it over, so you might as well use it. And this is where you get the confidence of your team as a young coach. You draw something up and it works. You go in there and you feel real good about yourself.
The veteran Kevin Johnson out of retirement following the injury
You
to
can't
Jason
sub on a
Kidd.
20 there. That's why he can't come in the game.
Yeah, they wanted Devin George to come in, but they were unable to make the substitution. It's in Kidd's hands again. He tries to split through the lane and throws up a hook on the run that just rattles out, but there's a whistle. And it's on Ron Harper. He has 6 rebounds, and look at that, 12 first half assists. And he shot the ball very well, 6 of 9 from the floor.
Well, they're going to put Shaq underneath the basket. You know what the strategy is? Just throw it up and maybe he can catch it and dunk the ball in the basket.
Bryant has it near midcourt. 2 defenders around him. He forces up a shot and Drew Iron with it. Anywhere inside midcourt, he's a threat to score. But what a half for Phoenix. Up by 23 after 24 minutes. Stay tuned for Hannah Storm in our New York studio with net 0 at the half. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC. He threw in 6 rebounds along with his other exploits in the first half for Phoenix. Cliff Robinson led them with 23. Here's Rice. Lakers in possession and a whistle as the second half gets underway.
Rebounds. Keep pushing the ball, keep up the energy, and come out hard in the third quarter to make sure that the Lakers don't think that they can come out here and steal this game. Now, as far as Phil Jackson did not make an appearance in the locker room. Ron Harper did all the talking. He told
you need to go in there and talk about what you want to get accomplished in this second half. You know, that doesn't work all the time, so Phil's going to pick and choose when he's going to do that. Probably the only time all season he hasn't done it. Let's see how his team responds to that. So, going to set the screen, and he was wide open for a jump shot. There was really nobody to screen, and Sean Marion threw the ball to where he thought.
3 of the Heat-Knicks series went to overtime, tied at 68. That's for the full game. Ron Harper connects. In this game, Phoenix scored 71 points in the first half.
I will tell you, though, what's going through Scott Skiles' mind at halftime. As a coach, you hate that big of a lead because you know there is going to be some letdown. And if there is, the Lakers will get right back in this game.
Cliff Robinson and Marion to follow. There's a lot of spring in the young legs of the rookie Sean Marion.
You got that right. He reminds me so much of Larry Nance when he played here. He's not as big, but he's got that quick step. He's a shot blocker off the ball, good offensive rebounder. Just needs to become a better shooter.
Kobe lost it. I understand what you were saying about Scott Skiles and the wariness of a team perhaps getting complacent with a huge lead. On the other hand, I don't think any coach would opt to have fewer points at any given time.
No, I agree with that. But you know what? When the team's got such a big lead, in their mind, we got a little cushion, and there's still a lot of time. Bob, we saw this the other day in Indiana and Philly. So Glenn Rice missed a shot, 18-point lead. Reggie Miller gets kicked out, and pretty soon they're behind. So you got to hang in there.
Here's Penny. He just continues to play magnificent basketball.
Well, he's not depending just right now on his physical ability. He's been injured, and now he's playing not only with his mind, but his body. He's taking things in rhythm rather than just try to jump over people.
He's shooting nearly 60% in the series. Shaq was doubled and fouled.
You still want to get Shaquille O'Neal involved in screen roll. You see Shaq nowhere in the picture. AC Green's trying to come down and give help, and it's much too...
Foul a moment ago on Kidd was his first, and Harper traveled. Cliff Robinson. Short with it, but Longley is there on the offensive glass.
You saw that coming, and that's not Luke Longley's foul. He's going to get charged with it, but Penny Hardaway got him that foul because Luke was going to come over to screen for him.
On Longley. Harper thought about a 3, instead goes in the lane to Shaq, who is fouled. Longley was the guy closest to him, and if so, that's 5.
Breaks count as points in the paint. Tonight, Phoenix plus 22. Sort of an amazing turnaround from game 1.
The inbound from Horry to Kobe for the turnaround, and Kobe Bryant, even in what appears to be a losing cause, continues to impress.
Remember, this is what he did in Sacramento. When Shaq did not dominate, Kobe had to score a lot of points, and when he's their leading scorer, that's not when they're at their best. They're at their best when Shaq dominating offensively and Kobe being that second guy for them.
Cliff Robinson drives past Travis Knight and is fouled on his way to the hoop. Foul is on Knight, who was beaten on the play, his first.
Well, Jason Kidd's an all-league defender, and look at Kobe just between two guys go up and get it, fading away, creating that space so the defender cannot get there. He's a terrific low post player, and I think you see as his game goes on more and more, you're going to see him more down in that low post, especially when Shaq goes out to get a rest. They'll use him as their low post player, a lot like Phil did with Michael in Chicago.
1 of 2 for Robinson, who now has 26, 23 of those in the first half, when the issue apparently was decided. The Lakers are down by 25. They once trailed by 29, which was their biggest deficit in any game this season, regular or obviously playoffs.
In the penalty, fouls on number 30.
Sean Marion, his 4th foul as he bumped Glenn Rice.
Number 41, Glenn Rice on the line. 1 plus the penalty for 2 shots.
First of 2 for Rice. And coming on Memorial Day weekend, the action and excitement of the WNBA returns to NBC. Things kick off with Teresa Weatherspoon and the Liberty facing Cynthia Cooper and the 3-time defending champion Comets in a rematch of last year's championship series. The WNBA on NBC, Monday, May 29th.
Remember Mike Breen's call on Teaspoon's long 3 at the end of Game 2 forced the Game 3, and the Comets came back and won that to win the championship. 3-time champions. I'm a big WNBA fan.
Have a franchise here in Phoenix. Michelle Timms and company. Here's Robinson trying to find Rodney Rogers, who can't run it down. Clock ticking down toward 2 minutes to play in the 3rd. Travis Knight was fouled by Robinson, reaching in for the steal. It was a 23-point deficit for the Lakers at the half, and it stayed there. They're down 23 now, so it's been even through the 3rd.
Well, I think if you look at Cliff Robinson out there, we know he's playing with a bad ankle. So is Jason Kidd. Question might be, when do you take these guys out of the game? I tell you when you take them out, when you know the game is in the bank. Because if you take them out prematurely and have them try to come back in and get themselves going after they've sat for a while, and you need them late in the game, it's going to be too late. So as a coach, you have to have a sense, when is the game over, and then get them out of there.
A case of night and day there. Knight missed, Day rebounded, and a whistle.
Yeah. How long did you work on that one?
About 1/10 of a second. But this is what happens when it's 90-67.
When you've got way too much time on your hands. That's what the problem is.
Officials conferring about exactly what, we are not sure. It might be a lighting problem in the arena. It seemed as if some of the lights dimmed just a moment ago. That bank of lights went out.
I'm not going to tell you that the Suns have shot the lights out behind the 3-point line, Bob. I will not say that. So let's just watch the game here.
Thank you for withholding that comment. Here's Jason Kidd.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Penny Hardaway with Kobe hounding him, pushing him back into 3-point territory. 5 on the shot clock. Penny takes it as a personal challenge. Got by Bryant but couldn't hit the little running lefty shot.
Boy, did he work hard for that shot.
There were 8 other players on the floor, but it was a game of one-on-one schoolyard style between 2 of the game's best right there. And a whistle at the other end. Offensive foul on Glenn Rice. Here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. You just reported that the bank of lights just went out here in the building. What do? Wait to fix lights? No. Joey Crawford goes to each coach and says, "You want to continue playing?" They say yes, so we continue playing. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Here's Jason Kidd into the lane, laying it off for Hardaway, who misses the reverse. And another chance to bring the crowd to its feet there.
You know, the amazing thing about this lead, when you look at it, I mean, Penny Hardaway, who's been great, has been very quiet, and Rodney Rogers, 2 of their best scorers, have had very quiet days today.
Missed 3 by Bryant. Todd Day back for a 3 of his own.
It's one of those days right now. The Suns, everything that's going in the basket, but you know what? You got to give them a lot of credit because they've created these opportunities by the way they played defense.
Travis Knight had it knocked loose. Jason Kidd scoops it up.
Keep your eye on Cliff Robinson here in the open court.
He was trying to set up for a 3, but they never got it to him. On the turnover, the Lakers come back. Rice had it knocked away. It appears they will not come back in this game, however, trailing 93-67 with half a minute to play in the 3rd.
Penny Hardaway holding that left hand as he tried to make that reverse layup. I think he got smacked on his wrist.
Travis Knight with Robinson on it. Kidd poked it away from Bryant. Laker ball, 6 on the shot clock.
See, the thing I really liked about the Suns, you've seen no letdown, Bob, defensively at all. They're continuing to harass the Lakers. They have totally disrupted their offense by pressuring passing lanes. They're not letting them play in a rhythm.
Kobe from just inside the three-point line. This might be heresy to say, and I have never been on this next Michael Jordan bandwagon, because there will not be another Michael Jordan, because the circumstances can't be duplicated. He had too many different things going for him. But that having been said, Kobe Bryant has developed an accurate long-range jumper earlier in his career than did Michael Jordan.
I would agree with that, and I tell you what, he's a tough competitor also, but you know what, there was none like Michael Jordan, as you prefaced it by saying that. But Kobe is developing, and the thing I like about it is now he has another great player with him, and they're trusting and playing off of one another. That's the key. Michael won championships. Scotty was right there. They played wonderfully together, and that's a real key.
You know what the thing is with this next Michael Jordan stuff? It isn't just based on talent. Even if someone might have the combination of talents that Michael had, you got to be on a team that continually contends for the championship and wins it 6 times. You have to be as handsome as a movie star, as well-spoken as a diplomat. Plus, it's already happened once before, so the next guy, if there is such a guy, is the second guy. It just isn't ever going to happen again.
At the end of the third period.
That's the end of the third, with the Suns up by 22.
Well, Bob, if I said, let's take a look at this graphic, the hustle stats. Points in the paint, plus 20 for Phoenix. Second chance points, plus 7 Phoenix. Points off turnovers, plus 5. Fast break, 20-4, plus 16. Who's winning?
Evidently, Phoenix. We're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Δείτε το Μάιο στο Super Sport.
Βλέπετε Super Sport.
Minutes to put this one in the books. The Suns lead by 22.
And very rarely do you see the big three from the Lakers outscored. You see the Suns 61-53 with those 3 players. Again, Hardaway very quiet with 13. He was averaging almost 28 going into this game today in the 3 games. But the big difference has been Jason Kidd.
Here's Sean Marion scoring. As the 4th quarter begins, Shaquille O'Neal is on the floor with 4 reserves for the Lakers. Horry, Shaw, Devin George, and Derek Fisher. Here's George, the rookie. Horry looking for Shaq. Ball stripped away from him. Todd Day threw it past Marion for the turnover. Shaw back to Shaq, who's playing with 5 fouls, and he was fouled.
Fouls on number 54, Rodney Rogers. He's third.
Let's listen in on some of the conversation a moment ago on the Laker bench.
Jason Kidd.
Put the ball inside. Shaq, play as if you had 2 fouls. Play it, see what they're going to do.
He said play as if you had 2 fouls, not 5. Devin George missed it.
Well, I think that's one of the things that Phil really worked with Shaquille when he first took over the team, is getting him to act like when he's got 2 fouls that he doesn't stop being aggressive, continue to go to the boards, continue to try to block shots, to rebound, and that's really been a growth in Shaq's game this year.
Derek Fisher. And a whistle on the rebound.
One of the things that we've talked about all season long is we see the loose ball foul on Robert Horry with the Lakers. If they have a weakness, Bob, Shaq's free throw shooting late, but more importantly, perimeter shooting. And you see right now, when that ball goes inside, 4 guys are around Shaquille O'Neal. They're going to force somebody to make some jump shots for the Lakers.
Rodney Rogers, nice series of moves, and then the finish.
And the smart thing, he jumped right into Shaq's chest, hoping to get the 6th foul. If he doesn't, fine. Try to get him out of the game.
Shaw thought about a 3, instead drives the lane, had it knocked away, got it back, and put it in with the left hand. I asked Scott Skiles yesterday, suppose you had a crystal ball and it told you that the Lakers were guaranteed to win Game 5 Tuesday night in LA if there was a Game 5. Would you still want to win Game 4? Would it still matter to you? Here's Rodney Rogers for 3, and he overshot it. Skiles said absolutely. Not just for some kind of statement, but simply because this is competition. These are professional athletes. I'm a coach. We want to win each game for its own sake.
Well, Bob, but also, too, you're thinking about the long term with this Phoenix team. Every time you get a chance to win in the playoffs, it's vital for the growth of the franchise. And let me give you an example. That when I was in Chicago, I remember the one year we were able to get into the 2nd round. We won 1 game against the Pistons. Next year, got to the Eastern Conference Finals, won 2. The following year, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, win 3, and finally win a championship. It's a growth process.
Rodney Rogers was left all alone. Had all day to contemplate a 3 and hit it. They hit the century mark with that, 100-75. O'Neal, they surround him and foul him. The Suns are now 10 of 19 on 3-pointers in this game. The foul was Rogers' 4th.
See, one of the things about the Lakers, they do not want to let Rodney Rogers in this time of the game, with a game determined, find his shooting touch. That could carry over to Game 5.
Ένα σπάνιο φαινόμενο θα παρουσιαστεί αυτό το καλοκαίρι και θα το απολαύσουν μόνο οι συνδρομητές του Super Sport. Καλοκαιρινό φαινόμενο Super Sport. Πρέπει να το δεις για να το πιστέψεις.
was also on that team down 0-2 that won 3 in a row and won the 5-game series against Seattle.
We talked a moment ago about Scott Skiles wanting to win this game for its own sake and then consider each game one at a time after that. As most of you know, no team in NBA playoff history has ever come back 0-3 to win a best-of-7 in any round of the playoffs. As close as anyone has ever come was the Nuggets of 1994, the same year they won the best-of-5 against the #1 seed Seattle, down 0-2 by winning the last 3. Devin George follows the miss by Kobe Bryant with the slam. In the next round, they were down 3-0 to Utah and won 3 in a row to force a 7th game, but the Jazz won that 7th game. That's as close as anybody has ever come after digging themselves an 0-3 hole. And here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Just to reinforce what you were saying there, I talked to Jason Kidd about that exact thing, about you got to win 3 games. He said, you know what he's trying to do is get his teammates to realize, to get out of that mindset. 1 game, we got to win this one. So them other 2 don't even count if we don't win this one. So there's so much written about no team has never done that and all that kind of thing. He said, why don't they be the team that's done that? But the way you do it is start winning the one today. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Doug, you mentioned that the Lakers don't want Rodney Rogers to get into a rhythm from that distance. That last shot indicates that he still has it. He shot an air ball when he was wide open. Shaq at the other end scores +1.
Well, you know, just to follow up on what you're talking about, let's know what's happened with the Indiana-Philly series. Now, you're going back for Game 5 into Indiana without Reggie Miller. If you end that in 4, you don't have to worry about him being suspended to be in the next round. But now you go back Game 5 without your best player. You lose. Now you have to go play in Philly Game 6. You lose. It now becomes a 7-game series. Or it could be a guy could twist an ankle, something could happen, and miss a game and change the whole fate of what's going on. So when you can finish a team off, you want to be able to do that.
It may be a reach, but it could turn out that by the narrow margin of a missed jumper by Travis Best, he had one that could have tied the game, and then the ball bounced to him for a 3-pointer that could have won it at the buzzer. If that goes down, Indiana has dispatched Philadelphia. Now it's possible that that could lead to this thing being stretched to 6, maybe 7 games, and who knows?
No question about it. That's why you've got to finish off that rest versus rust. Get the rest. It always works out in your favor.
Lakers are within 20. If that can be said. Here's Hardaway. If it was Shaq, he's done.
They're not going to call that on Shaq. They're going to get the call right before. Shaq came over second. Robert Horry's going to raise his hands. And this, the fans are going to say, you know what? This is typical. Shaq fouled, and that's Shaq's foul. You got to make that call right there.
No question about it. No question.
This is what leads to people talking about conspiracy stuff right there. A play like that. I'm telling you, you got to foul him out of the game. Even though the game is out of reach right now, 20 points with 8 minutes to go, 7:41. You gotta make that call. Now they'll say he got pushed before Shaq got him or whatever. That was Shaq's 6th foul.
So as we move towards 7.5 minutes after Hardaway makes 1 of 2, it's a 21-point game, which is about as close as the Lakers have been in a while. Kobe Bryant, triple team. Shaw's wide open and cuts it to 18. That's his second 3 of the game and the only 2 3-pointers that the Lakers have made in this game. Longley finds Rogers. He goes to Marion, who blows the dunk. And Horry has the loose ball.
Remember that play right here to see if the Lakers can make a run. Instead of a 20-point game, let's see what happens.
Bryant with a 3 that's no good, but the long rebound to Shaw. Kobe's got it back, hands it to Shaq. It's a 16-point game.
See, that's what frustrates a coach right now. You know, instead of Shaq being fouled out of the game, it's now a 16-point game. There's still almost 7 minutes, which is a ton of time. The Lakers have the #1 defense in the league, and this miss is huge. Instead of a 20-point lead, it's 16, and Skiles has to take time out.
Kobe the assist. Shaq the dunk that gives him 24.
Να υπάρχει πλεονέκτημα.
Άφησε το πλεονέκτημα.
Και επανήλθε και τιμώρησε τον ποδοσφαιριστή για θέατρο.
Κακός τώρα όμως που ο διαιτητής δεν πήρε τη φάση πάνω του. Έστω κι αν ο επόμενος το έδειξε. Θα μπορούσε να του δώσει και κόκκινη, γιατί πρέπει να τον κόκκινη. Δεν θέλει να βγάλει την κόκκινη κάρτα, δεν θέλει να. Αλλά είναι η περίπτωση τώρα, όπως τη βλέπουμε, είναι καθαρή περίπτωση κόκκινης κάρτας.
Fair Play. Δευτέρα βράδυ. Στο Super Sport.
Ενισχύοντας τη UNICEF, προσφέρεται εμβόλια ζωής στα παιδιά του κόσμου. UNICEF, χάρη στη δική σας ευαισθησία, προσφέρει έργο ζωής. Καταθέστε τη βοήθειά σας στις τράπεζες Εθνική 169 κάθετος 480020 Παύλα 64, στην Εμπορική, Αγροτική, Citibank ή τηλεφωνήστε στη UNICEF στο 74 84 184.
What, 20 points? 25.
Number 30, Clifford Robinson, and 32, Jason Kidd return to the Suns lineup for number 31, Sean Berry, and number 7, Evan Johnson.
Let's not get overheated about this just yet. It's still a 16-point lead, but enough time, 6:47, to overcome it if things break right for the Lakers. If this were to happen, this would be the largest deficit in NBA playoff history ever overcome in terms of a halftime deficit and a third-quarter deficit. Jason Kidd, 5 on the 24. Good defense being played here by the Lakers. Rodney Rogers is going to have to hoist this up. And there's a huge hoop to get some momentum back for Phoenix.
Not only huge, but huge for Rodney Rogers, because this is a guy that can go on the road and help shoot them into a road win. They need him to make some baskets.
Kobe Bryant knocked away on a foul. So the Lakers had played excellent defense on this possession, but Rogers burned them as the shot clock expired.
And this ball is barely out of his fingertips in that shot clock. Look at that. That's just a fraction. And it goes in, and a big basket there as they push that lead back to 18. More important, they used 24 seconds on the shot clock.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal might have been hit with his sixth a moment ago. It looked like the officials missed the call. He's still in the game. Luke Longley has just fouled out with his sixth. He managed to play only 13 minutes. He scored just 2 points and had 1 rebound. On Friday night in Game 3, he shot 6 of 9, had his best game of the series. Coming up next on most of these stations, it's Saturday Night Live's 25th anniversary special. Kobe makes 1 of 2. Kidd out of the backcourt, finds Rogers.
Attack pressure defense. The Lakers are not a good team up the floor pressuring. They're a half-court team. They don't have that kind of quickness. They're a team that uses their half-court defense. This is against the way they normally like to play.
Shaw for 3. Rebound Hardaway. Cliff Robinson. Ori fouled him. And that's 4 on Ori. Cliff Robinson to the line. He has 26 points. Well, he walked to the line, but they're not over the limit yet. And it was not an active shooting foul, although he thinks it was.
And he was trying to just get to the line, plant that seed that he was in active shooting, and the referees here, too experienced. They weren't going to bite on that.
So now Blunt screens for Robinson, who gives it up to Rogers, and his pass intended for Hardaway is picked off by Kobe Bryant. Here's Kobe into the lane. Kidd got a hand in there. There was some contact and a foul. Let's see who it goes against. It is on Kidd, his third. 5:14 remaining. The lead is 19.
2 shots.
.23 for Kobe.
Number 2, Derek Fisher returns to the Lakers lineup.
The Lakers have had a huge advantage in terms of the number of free throws shot throughout the series, and although they're losing big here, it's held up in this game as well. They have made 22 of 37, Phoenix 11 of 17.
Well, Phoenix is a team that doesn't get to the free throw line very often because they play a perimeter game. They don't have that guy that you can go to in the low post. So on the season, they don't shoot a lot of free throws. They shoot a very good percentage. But one of the things that Scott Skiles has been on his team about is use your quickness, get that ball to the basket, get to the free throw line. Don't settle for so many perimeter jump shots. And you can see, Bob, just what you talked about. This is their 39th free throw of the game.
Bryant again makes 1 of 2.
Houston Park here. This is good. Houston Park, get the ball inside to Penny. Get a double team, kick it out, and get you an open jump shot.
Or he just lets him split the defense and score. That works too. No need to kick it out if you can get to the rack yourself.
Absolutely. The only way you pass that ball is if somebody makes you pass it when you get it that close.
Brian Shaw blocked by Blunt, but a foul.
Now, Penny Hardaway is an excellent low-post player. When he was in Orlando as a point guard, he used to punish smaller guards down low. The double team way too late coming over there, and just a beautiful body control. Actually splits a defender, glides by another one, and uses the glass. So Penny Hardaway has not had his normal 28-point game that he's had, but still a very solid game today.
He beat 3 defenders on that last play. Pending the outcome of games being played this coming week, the schedule of NBA playoff games for next weekend not yet determined. We do know we'll have NBA playoff action for you on both Saturday and Sunday, and the Sunday coverage includes the NBA draft lottery. And play is stopped at the other end of the floor. Shaquille O'Neal is out of the game and replaced by Travis Knight. That's foul number 4 on Kobe Bryant.
This game was sort of typical of the games that Shaquille had in Sacramento when they really did a wonderful job inside. Talking about Vlade Divac, Weber, Scott Pollard, their defense kept him under the 30 points, made him work very hard as opposed to the games he's had in the first 3 games of this series. So very positive sign that for Phoenix, for them going into a game 5. I'm sure Shaq is going to go home with the idea of trying to punish this interior defense of the Suns, but you got to give them a lot of credit. They did a nice job in low today.
Cliff Robinson now with 27 points, only 4 of them in the second half. Derek Fisher, less than 4.5 minutes remaining. Kobe a long 3 that's long itself, and the rebound is taken by Jason Kidd. Blunt lost it into the hands of Devin George. A 3-on-2 break, but George pulls up and shoots a 3. Kidd takes the rebound.
I give Jason Kidd about 1 more possession, and I get him out of there right now. 4 minutes to go. You got a 19-point lead. Let him get some ice on that ankle, maybe even Cliff Robinson as well.
And Robinson now and Rick Fox mix it up.
He's going to call technical on Fox, and well, he should, because Fox tried to agitate him into that. He fouled him, and then after the whistle, slapped him a couple more times. Let's watch this, Bob. Now, what? He fouls him, boom, and then he's going to hit him a couple more times. Right there, and follows it up one more time. It frustrates Robinson, but this is where you got to keep your cool. You cannot get suspended, throw a punch or something like this. You got a big lead.
And you know what happened here, Doug? As seems to always happen in every game I've seen since I was a kid. Eventually, cooler heads prevail. Those cooler heads are nearly undefeated. They almost always prevail. So Fox is hit with a technical. Meanwhile, last couple of Laker trips down the floor, Jason Kidd has grabbed rebounds. The significance of that, it gives him 10 rebounds and a triple-double in this game. What a game for Kidd. 22 points, 16 assists, 10 rebounds.
Well, last week, this time, when we saw him in game one, I did not think there was any way he could be effective. He was limping, he was dragging the leg, he was thinking about it, and I think the big thing, Bob, he came home, he got an x-ray, and they said there's nothing wrong with the fracture. You got soreness, maybe some tendonitis. I think it eased his mind that he could play and play the way he wanted to play. And when he plays like this, they're a tough, tough team.
Travis Knight out to Derek Fisher, fakes his way by Hardaway, back to Knight for the jumper, and Travis Knight's name is in the scorebook. Robinson wrapped up by Fox, who appears to want to go at it again. There was something purposeful about what Fox did, and that's the way Joey Crawford saw it too, and he's tossed.
What is Rick Fox doing? I mean, I don't understand what he's doing. I mean, he's too good a player to do something like that. 2 fouls like that on purpose and 2 technical fouls. It's not like Rick Fox is going to get his team fired up. Watch this. I mean, he just fouls him. I mean, he's just done that before. Joey Crawford is a veteran official. He's not going to let that go. And the good thing about it is Cliff Robinson's smiling about it. I don't understand what Rick Fox is trying to do with that.
Well, he couldn't get Robinson to respond.
Number 12, Toby Bailey, to Randy Livingston.
Robinson calm and collected enough not to risk some kind of penalty which would jeopardize his participation in Game 5. Kidd and Hardaway go out to standing ovations, and Kidd especially had a tremendous game today.
And if you don't win Game 5, if you can't get back here for Game 6, this is the taste you want to leave to your fans. Penny Hardaway coming over this year as a free agent. Jason Kidd, backcourt 2000. They've had little time together this year. Penny was hurt early, Jason late. They're finally playing well together. It gives this crowd something to look forward to if they can't extend the series to 6 games.
The lead is back to 20, 3:27 left. The cooler heads are nearly undefeated. They always...
Είστε έτοιμοι για μεγάλες κόντρες. Η ώρα των μεγάλων τελικών του πρωταθλήματος Έριξον έφτασε. Ο αναγεννημένος ΠΑΟΚ διεκδικεί στα ίσια τον τίτλο απέναντι στον πρωταθλητή Ευρώπης Παναθηναϊκό. Την ίδια ώρα που Ολυμπιακός και ΑΕΚ παίζουν την έξοδό τους στην Ευρώπη. Η μεγάλη τελική του πρωταθλήματος Έριξον είναι υπόθεση Super Sport.
Δίκτυο καταστημάτων Γερμανός σας συνδέει με τον αγώνα. www.supersport.gr. Το απόλυτο αθλητικό πόρταλ.
Hannah, thanks very much. On Mother's Day, Kevin Johnson's mom watching what could be the last home game. One of the greatest Phoenix players of all time plays in the Valley of the Sun. We don't know what KJ's plans are for next year. He was out for a couple of years. He came back after Jason Kidd was hurt. It's possible that the series could end on Tuesday night in Los Angeles, and the Suns might not get to play another game here.
And just to follow up what Hannah said, can Jeff Hornacek get back to Utah and play another home game? It could be his last home game. Remember, these two guys played together here. And in the Miami-New York series, can a team win 2 games in a row? They just keep going back and forth. Can a team win 2 in a row?
They were once teammates here in Phoenix. Speaking of Hornacek and Johnson, Hornacek was part of the trade that brought Charles Barkley here, and that might have been what got Phoenix to the finals in a great final series against the Bulls, which of course Chicago won in 6, but they were a John Paxson three-pointer away from a Game 7 on this floor.
And Jeff Hornacek, a very favorite player here. When he came in for his last game playing for the Jazz, a big honor. Jerry Colangelo and the organization honored him, thanking him for the wonderful years he spent here with this team.
Let's hear from Ahmad.
All right, Bob, I was talking to Kevin Johnson just before the game, asking him how he felt. And he said, you know what? He was just now feeling like he was rounding into shape. When he first came back, he said that was his sort of version of training camp. He had a lot of little bumps and bruises, and just now, as they came in today facing elimination, he felt like he was ready to really get ready to play because he had gone through the training camp. He had no more bumps and bruises and ready to go. Bob?
I think one of the reasons Ahmadi's not playing a lot is because the Lakers have such big guards that it's tough for him to match up. So it's more a matchup, I think, than maybe the way he's playing.
Meanwhile, here's Randy Livingston in the game as we play out the string. Pass into the lane broken up by Travis Knight, and the Lakers take it on the turnover. Cliff Robinson is out of the lineup for Phoenix. He sits down with 32 points and 9 rebounds. Devin George connects.
I like this Devin George. I like his athleticism. He had a beautiful tip dunk. He got a nice shooting touch, and you know, he might be one of those guys that when they have to decide what they want to do with Glenn Rice after the season, they look at him as being a guy that might be ready to play here pretty soon for them.
Toby Bailey getting a chance to play, lays it off to Sean Marion for the emphatic dunk.
Now, if you're Phoenix, one of the things you don't want to do in the last 2 minutes is do anything to look like you're showboating. You got your win. Just play the game out, finish, go off the floor. Don't be doing any celebrating or anything. You want to go with the idea you're going to win Game 5.
Devin George slides through several defenders. Now it's back up top to Travis Knight, and that one rattles in and out. We're inside 2 minutes. This is the most points allowed by the Lakers in any game, regular or postseason this year. 115. Offensive foul. Blunt colliding with Sally. Oliver Miller now makes his first appearance as Blunt goes out. Last minute and a half here. Shaw from Sally, kicked out of bounds, Suns ball. The Lakers made a modest move and got as close as 16. But in truth, this game has belonged to Phoenix throughout.
You know, when you look at this game right here, this is the game really that turned the Lakers season around. This is when they were going through that stretch where they lost 6 of 9. They bottomed out against the Spurs and then really went off on a run. We'll have to see how they react to getting spanked here today by the Suns as they go back for Game 5.
Randy Livingston gets his first basket. And Oliver Miller avoids all zeros in his line with an assist. John Sally. Devin George trying to follow and can't. Miller picks up a rebound. Something of a fan favorite here. 6'9", listed at 315. Toby Bailey's jumper is off.
You know, it's really unfortunate about Oliver Miller. He's such a talented player. Bob, we've talked about it before that he was on the 93 team that went to the finals against Chicago. has just not been able to control his weight. It's really been the downfall of him because he's got great hands, long arms, shot blocker, passer, but he has just not been able to control his weight. And it's been really tragic in my mind.
Travis Knight with the basket on the long jumper for the Lakers. Todd Day was fouled.
Fouls at number 16, John Sally.
It's number 3 on Sally.
Number 11, Todd Day in line to shoot 2. Timeout, Lakers.
And the Lakers asked for a timeout with 18.4 seconds remaining.
Δείτε το Μάιο στο Super Sport.
Για το Γιωβάνι, εντυπωσιακό γκολ από τον Βραζιλιάνο.
Oh, what a boost! It takes the goal superbly.
They're just shooting free throws, so just stick with get to kids so I can say what I'm going to say after I do this. Coming up next in most of the country, the Saturday Night Live 25th anniversary special will be seen in its entirety. On the West Coast, it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Todd Day at the line, misses the first. Well, the calendar says it was Mother's Day, but in Phoenix, it was Kids Day. 22 points, 16 assists, 10 rebounds, and another timeout taken. Some strange stuff going on here.
Phil was very upset when he took the timeout. He didn't say one word to his team, so I don't know if he's upset that the Suns are looking to continue to score or a particular play, but he really just stared down at the Suns huddle the whole time his team was during that timeout. He didn't say a word to his team.
Who called that timeout? Phoenix? So Phoenix called.
Are so great.
I didn't mean to leave you so little time. I didn't. say exactly that.
Take a look at Phil Jackson here as he scratches the side of his face. He's taken 2 timeouts. Scott Skiles won in about the last 3 possessions. The steeliness of the Skiles. But here's what I think is happening. Phil is trying to take off what's happened during the game today and put the spin on the last couple possessions here. So when you go into the press conference, more we talked about what happened in the last minute than actually what happened in the game. It's a little gamesmanship that I think that he's pulling right now to be able to take away the loss today and get the focus on something else. It'll be interesting to see how Scott Skiles handles himself through this.
Here's Ahmad.
Well, even though there are obviously some gamesmanship going on, both coaches are diagramming plays during those timeouts. So they're using them.
Yeah, and are the players paying any attention?
Well, that's another thing.
Now, if Scott Skiles takes a timeout here, we really got something going on now.
The Suns have 2 timeouts and a 20 left. The Lakers 1 and a 20, which is an unusual thing to note in a game that's 117-98.
Now they got to get the ball across half court. It'll be a 10-second violation. So get it across half court here. There you go.
There's Oliver Miller holding it.
Now what is he doing?
What the heck? So the Suns push it to game 5, 117-98. Coming up next on most of these stations, it's Saturday Night Live's 25th anniversary special. For Doug Collins and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Bob Costas. So long from the Valley of the Sun. Happy Mother's Day. You've been watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.